in Dodd Wood, which is about 3 or 4 miles to the north of Keswick on the A591. There's lots to do here. Ospreys live in Dodd Wood, and there are osprey viewpoints. You get lovely views over Bassenthwaite Lake, and if the ospreys are flying, that's wonderful. I have to say that most of the times I've come to see the ospreys, they haven't been. You can also go to my house. My house is a stately home, a small stately home that lives just opposite, home of the Spedding family, open to the public to have a look around. They've got gardens, beautiful gardens, and lovely house, and also a walk down to the shores of Bassenthwaite Lake. So you can spend a lovely, relaxing day there. I'm not going to do either of those. I'm not going to go and see the ospreys. I'm not going to my house. I'm not even going to go in the cafe, the old sawmill cafe, which is down in the car park. I'm actually walking to the top of Dodd. Dodd is the hill upon which Dodd Wood stands, obviously. And it's a wonderful, wonderful walk. So come with me and let's see about the views that we can see, because actually they're pretty stunning. Surprised me the first time I came. I'd looked in Wainwright and he said that the views were obscured by the trees. Well, that might be the case for the first mile, but it's certainly not the case for the rest. So why don't come with me and we'll have a look for yourself.
From the car park at Dodd Wood, I'm not actually taking the official track which crosses the stream. Instead, I'm going straight up the wide quarry track for just over a mile of steady climbing before turning right off the main track to reach the open fell side. The path then winds itself around the side of the hill to the summit, where there are glorious views of the northern Lake District. With a bit of luck, I'll be back in time for tea and cake.
The reason why it's called the old sawmill cafe. There's a sawmill here, and then there's the water control and the sluice gates, power the water wheel.
The forest was created by Thomas Story, the owner of my house, in 1790, and the sawmill operated until 1970. In 1981, the derelict building was converted to a tea shop. And very good it is too. Judging by the size of it, I think that tree was probably one of the first to be planted. The track follows the stream in the lower sections. It's very, very pleasant. This is the main uphill part of the walk, and on a hot day like this, it's actually quite nice being in the shade. There are paths off to both left and right, but I'm sticking to the main track. Got nice views to my left of the ridge over Longside Edge. Right, that's the first mile over with. We're actually 2/3 of the way up, and behind us is this cracking view of Bassenthwaite Lake. The forest road carries on, but I'm turning right to continue climbing amongst the trees.
Gosh, this is an unrelenting slog on a day like this, just pounding our way to the top of the hill through the trees, when what I'd really like is a nice seat with a view. It just happens to be a seat here.
But does it have a view? Oh yes, now that is a view. Derwentwater in all its glory. To my left, the steep slopes of Carlside. That narrow path takes you up over Carlside and then on to the top of Skiddaw. But this is the view that really delights. Derwentwater. Glorious, isn't it? You know, I could sit here and look at that all day. But time to move on. I've got a fell top to reach.
You know, that first section up to that viewpoint, up through the trees, might have been a bit of a plod. Although if you like trees, it's fine. But this bit is absolutely glorious. You've got wonderful views over to the right. Sun's up there, so there's not a lot to the left. But look at me, behind me. That's Derwentwater. Beautiful. Absolutely, even on a bit of a hazy day like today, it's stunning. It's wonderful. Superb. And there's not far to go to the top now. Here we are. We're at the top.
1,647 feet above sea level, although the plaque says it's 1,612.
And this is a memorial stone.
John Lowell and Ian Sandilands were adventure scouts who died in separate accidents within 3 months of each other in 1980. Their popularity was such that the Seaton Scout Group decided to build a memorial to them. The story of the erecting of this stone is a remarkable one. This piece of slate is almost 2 metres long and half is set deep into the ground. All the materials were carried up by the scouts. Back then this summit was amongst trees and the path was nothing like as good as nowadays. But by New Year's Eve 1980 the stone was in place. A remarkable achievement and a very fitting tribute to these two popular young men.
When Alfred Wainwright came up here when he was doing his guides, it's a little bit different. If you read the original guides, his chapter on Dodd, what he says is when you get to the top you can't see the view. The reason why you can't see the view is because the top is covered in trees. And that was the case. He couldn't see, he got all the way up here. He couldn't see the lake, he couldn't see Derwentwater, he couldn't see any of the mountains, couldn't see a thing. He said if you jump up, you might just be able to see over the top of the lowest trees at a glimpse of a view, but that was it. What's happened in the meantime, of course, is that the Forestry Commission have cleared away the trees. You can see just over yonder, there were trees on that top, but they've been cut down. So now you just get a glorious 360-degree view all over, across the Northern Fells and the fells to the west of Derwentwater and over towards Buttermere. Derwentwater itself, all along Bassenthwaite, the Skiddaw Massive. It's wonderful, and then it's such an easy little climb, and then it really is lovely paths. There's no crags, there's nothing to fall off on. It's wonderful.
There's the top of Skiddaw, just peeking over Carlside. Skiddaw Little Man to the right. Clough Head centre picture with Great Dodd to its right. The Helvellyn range there, Stybarrow Dodd to Seat Sandal and all points in between. There's even a glimpse of the Langdale Fells in this shot. Piker Stickle and Bow Fell, both write a picture. The path up Catbell's clearly visible. And there is the whole of Bassenthwaite Lake. Beautiful. And it's only the heat haze that stops us seeing the mountains of southwest Scotland. The only thing that would have improved my day was if we'd seen the ospreys. Oh well, I'll just have to come back another time.